think I'm live. Let's see here. Do I have a link to this stream? We will see in a second. We've got a name here. How do I link people to this? Great question. Stream URL copy. I wonder if that is... Nope, that doesn't work. Huh. Well. Analytics, stream health. Low latency. Alright, I guess people just have to go to my channel. And I can see myself in a slight delay here, which I hate, so let's block that. Alright, cool. Let me just message somebody. Should be a better way to check that, shouldn't there? Great. All right, well, we're just gonna get started here, I think. And if I get word that I'm not actually live, then I guess I'll cry. All right, so this is a live preview show for the Nova AOS GT happening this weekend in Washington, D.C. I figured I would go through the format and the pack real quick for those who aren't familiar, and then I've taken only just the quickest of glances at the lists. But I would like to just see if I can do a quick breakdown of what armies are being played, and I'll also take a look at some of the lists at least. There's like 116 people registered to play, so I'm not going to look at every list because that would get a little bit absurd. I don't want to be here for 2 hours, honestly. So yeah, if you've never been to Nova before, it is an 8-game GT, so more than the usual 5. But there's kind of a nice breaking point where you can drop from the GT if you want to after 5 games. So you can kind of play a normal 5-game GT, and if you do not have the stamina to play 3 more games of Warhammer, which the past years I have not, then you can drop after 5. So it's 3 games Friday, 3 games Saturday, 2 games Sunday. And after the 5th game, basically anyone who continues on for the rest of the last 3 games, you get split into pods of, I think, 8 people, but I could be wrong on that. I have the primer here. After round 5, you get, yeah, so it is 8. So you get split into 8-person pods. So, you know, the top 8 players of the first pod, then you work your way down. So you're kind of in a little bracket of your own with people that did similarly to you, performed similarly in the first 5 games, which is nice. And then the best overall, Grand Alliance, etc. That's based on overall 8 games. So if you bail after 5, you had fun, you played a bunch of Warhammer, but you're not eligible for any of the prizes. They do a terrain layout, basically 1 per day. So basically the first day missions are all compatible with the terrain layout for passing seasons. The second day, these missions are all compatible with the terrain layout for roiling roots. And then day 3 is life cycle, and that just kind of prevents needing to reset up terrain after every game and keeps things moving, which is pretty nice. So yeah, they have that here. So day 1, we've got some big places of power in the middle and little ones out there, and just small woods on this setup. in the corners, and then area terrain. Day 2 got some bigger woods, big area terrain, and places of power inside the deployment zones. Yeah, also this is corner to corner deployment for passing seasons. I'm sure the actual deployment zone is different for all of the maps. They just use the same terrain. And then life cycle for day 3 is a bunch of little places of power, woods in the corners, and area terrain there. They do have an FAQ. I'm not going to read through all of this, but basically FAQs a lot of things from the... Great. I got confirmation that I'm rolling. Thank you, Nick. You're a hero. But yeah, basically FAQing a bunch of things from the Blades of Corn book. Note that these are not, I believe, any balance changes other than it looks like in the Gore Chosen Champions. Hayfield Killers is only the first time each unit would be destroyed. Roll a die to save it on a 5-up. So no rolling a bunch of 5-ups in a row to have the same guy stand back up 40 times. And the Deathbringer. All right, so I guess there's 2 balance FAQ things. The Deathbringers is also once per phase, so you can't just roll for every Deathbringer and stop every command your opponent tries to use. So I don't know, good stuff for that. I know that a lot of people were trying to bring some real silly proxies to run the Gore Chosen AOR. I heard, a decent number of people got denied because they were trying to run just 10 slave chosen models as Deathbringer proxies and things like that. And they are being fairly strict about actually having models here for that Army of Renown. So they didn't ban it, but they were like, if you're going to run it, I guess you actually have to build it somewhat legitimately. So I think there's only a couple at the event. But yeah, it's over 100 people. I will say, so last year Nova, I think it was last year, was when, here's a little bit of philosophizing about net listing and army lists and that sort of thing. In general, I think AOS is in a good place where the skill of the player is generally more important than the list absolute strength that's being played. Obviously, good players tend to play good lists and win a lot with those good lists, but the game is certainly in a place where a bad player can take a very good list and still, you're not going to roll to a 5-0 or something. So last year there were a lot of people with this was when Night Haunt was very broken. Last year at Nova there were a lot of people with Night Haunt armies that were, spray painted white with one weapon painted gold or whatever, to get the three color minimum. To get just speed paint, get the minimum standard acceptable broken army on the table. And it's not like those people were all in the top tranche of results there. So I'm very anti Russian army out for a net list. I don't know, just my take. The sad part is probably all the KO players already had KO armies painted. And so we're probably going to see a bunch of KO, more so than we're going to see a bunch of the Corn Army of Renown. So, let's see. I think I can limit like this. Yeah, all right. So, I'm just going to go down and count real quick. First thing, there's a lot of Slaves to Darkness players, which I was a little surprised at. So, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 slaves. I'm just going to keep track over here. I'll probably just look at a couple as we go through what armies there are. I'll probably just look at a little cross section of every army and see what people are bringing, especially if I recognize people's names like Abby and Scooter here. I definitely know Tom Crowley as well. David Keating sounds very familiar. Let's look at those 4 lists. So... Yep, this is the same thing. I was gonna assume this is what he's running. Same thing he's run before. Be'lakor, 2 Fury units, Kargadrak, Chosen with Dread Banner, 2x5 Chaos Knights. Just very strong, have some little annoying run around things, have Bellicor. Cool. Scooter is bringing... Oh, not the Varangard. I know he'd played the Bellicor and Varangard in the past, but got Bellicor, Furies, Raptorix, Chaos Sorcerer Lord, and then, 3x20 Chaos Warriors, one of which has the Banner of Rage. That's very interesting. So just a giant wall of beef. I don't know. I've found Chaos Warriors in the past to not quite be killy enough to only have Chaos Warriors, but Scooter always does pretty well, so very curious to see how that goes. Tom Crowley's running a Dark Oath list. That rules. Yeah, all Dark Oath, Gunnerbrand, War Queens, Marauders, Wilder Fiends. Awesome. Love it. And no chosen question mark. Fools. Fools with their no chosen. Anyway, David Keating, Bellicor, Reinforced Knights, 10 Warriors, 3 Varangard, not reinforced, a Myrmidon, and Reinforced Theridons. I feel like we've been seeing Theridons a little bit more. I still have not finished painting mine, but should try them out at some point. Alright, so there's a little cross-section of the 10 slaves armies. Let's do I'm just going to go down the list as I see the different armies. So we've got Soulblight up next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 Soulblight again. We're just going to have 10 of 10 different armies, and it's going to be perfectly balanced, and it's going to be lovely. Chris Werder, I recognize your name. Alright, here's a cross-section of some Soulblight lists. Got Prince Vordry. I would not be shocked to see this in most of the lists. Reinforced Beauregard, 2 Vargheists, a White King, Vampire Lord, and Nightmare Steed with the Reinforced Blood Knights, 2 units of Skeletons. This seems like not the list. We've actually seen a lot of variants in what people are taking Soulblight, but this is a very common core is Vordry, the Nightmare Steed, a unit of Blood Knights, and then flavor, right? So Beauregard to be... I haven't played Soulblight in like two and a half years. I don't know if... Are Beauregard tanky? Are they killy? I don't know. But I know people like the Vargheists. Got a couple units of Skeletons just to stand on things, which is great. I like the list. Then we got Chris with Vordry, 2 small units of Blood Knights, 2 big units of Blood Knights, and the Vampire Lord on Nightmare Steed. So just the straight up alternate blood product, the straight up Blood Knight send. Cool. I keep forgetting that we now have to pay attention to what tactics people are taking as well. This is Intercept and Restless Energy, which is not surprising. This was Intercept and Scouting Force, because got a little bit more in the way of scouting units. Cool. Courtney, Bacchanal of Blood, has Manfred, Reinforced Bear Knights, White King on Skeletal Steed, Vangorian Lord, Bats, Wolves, another White King, some Skeletons, a Foot Vampire Lord, and some Vargheists. A big mix. I like it. Attuned to Gyron and Master the Paths. I don't mind that combo at all. If you have something like a big unit of Reinforced Skeletons or Bear Knights that can go stand in the middle with like a little hero behind them. That's what I was doing with OBR. It seems good. And last but not least of the ones I'll look at, Mark Wong with a Vampire Lord on foot. Small unit of Beauregard, small unit of Skeletons, small unit of Vargheists. So nothing reinforced so far. Vordry, Reinforced Bear Knights, Reinforced Blood Knights. There we go. There's the meat. And a White King on Skeletal Steed. And this is Scouting Force and Wrathful Cycles. So there we go. There's the Soulblight. Again, if you're watching and you're on this list and I don't look at your list, I'm sorry. I just don't have time to look at all 116 as much as I would love to. So here we go. Here's the interesting one. Let's see what the Khorne players are taking. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Khorne. 1 is dropped, so we've got 7 Khorne. A little surprising. And now I gotta look at all of these because I gotta see how many Gore Chosen there are. I know Michael Rausch is not running the Gore Chosen because I already looked at his list earlier. Looks like I disconnected for a moment, so hopefully we're okay here. Reconnection successful. All right. This is an adventure. This is the first time live streaming. We're seeing how this goes. So yeah, Alex Schaefer is a dirty person and took the Gore Chosen. Looks like not the max. Sorry, what am I trying to say? I don't have time to have brain farts. I gotta roll through this. I see multiple Bloodstokers, which is weird. Multiple Slaughter Priests. So this looks more like, oh, I'm not allowed to proxy 10 Deathbringers, so I gotta take a mix, but I'm still gonna take this thing. So probably not the optimal version of this list. So maybe this will be fine. I think Slaughter Priests and Bloodstokers are probably less scary than a bunch of Deathbringers and Skullgrinders. We have a Corn-Fed Crew, Swole is the goal. So we have a second Gore Chosen champion list. This one does have a bunch of Deathbringers, so this person may have bought and painted 10 Deathbringers for this. Cool. Here, hold on. So that's 2. I'm gonna flip through. Cornate Legion, Murder Host, Cornate Legion, Murder Host. So alright, so we only have 2 Gore Chosen champions. Alright, so I can just skip through the rest. Blood Warriors, Flesh Hounds, a Bloodthirster, Scarbrand, more a classic Khorne list. Again, more of a classic Khorne list. 2 Bloodthirsters, Blood Reavers, Skull Reapers, Bloodmaster, Bloodletter. So this is this is all demons, it looks like, except for the Slaughter Priest. Cool. Scarbrand, Blood Warriors, Wrathmongers, Herald of Khorne. This is Michael Rausch. Right. Please let Khorne work. Why isn't it working? Where are my battle traits? Why can I only unlock 1 level of the chart? I have 8 blood type. Help, help, help. With Restless Energy, and Michael is good at this game. Yeah, I'm using OBS to stream to YouTube, and it says it keeps disconnecting. So we're just spraying and praying here. Last but not least, Bloodthirster, Bloodletters, Claws of Karanak with Karanak, and some Flesh Hounds. Bunch of little Blood Reaver units. Cool, I love it. It's not 18 heroes. Good job, everyone. We did it. Khorne. OBR. I know already. There are more OBR here than I expected. Still single digits. Oh, I missed a Seraphon. I must have. So I might as well talk about what my list is first, because that is my prerogative. If you watch my last video about Summer Slaughter, this isn't that interesting. It's the exact same list. I'm doing the same thing. It worked pretty well. I know I'll get blown away by Khorne, but I can hopefully play it a little better than my first game against them 2 weekends ago at Slaughter. But yeah, I have Ossifector, Reinforced Harbingers, Go Fast Kill, a Crawler, source of auto strike last, and occasionally can pop off and do 30 wounds to something. Soul Reaper, Reinforced Immortus Guard, and then the Usharan Regiment of Renown. So lots of strike last abilities, can concentrate force pretty well. The Crypt Guard, I don't think I talked about this in my last video. The Crypt Guard fight a lot better than I thought. In this Regiment of Renown, they each have 4 attacks. So it's 40 at 4s, Ren 1 damage. It's not amazing, but like, it's, you know, on average with no buffs, it's 10 Ren 1 saves for 1 damage each. And if you fail one, you're not going to get to use commands until the start of the next turn. So very solid. I think, was it Carl also was taking Usharan? I kind of clicked around these because I was curious. Yeah, so Carl also has the Usharan Regiment of Renown, with Vokmortian, a Harvester, Reinforced Archai, and 2 Crawlers. So a little more shooty, has Intercept and Recover in Restless Energy instead of Attuned in Restless Energy, which makes sense. Let's see, Alice has Catacross, Reinforced Immortus Guard. That is a unkillable, well, it's less unkillable than it was last GHB because you don't have the -1 attack, but that is a good brick. Arkai are also going to be very tanky with Catacross and Vogmortian and some Stalkers. And it is Mortison Council. All right, so +1 to cast on the Mortisans. Stephen Knott with the Drill Masters with Catacross, a Mortis, Arkai, a Crawler, another Crawler, an Ossifector, and Mortek Guard. A lot of double Crawlers so far. That's interesting. I don't know. We'll see what the rest of the field looks like. Archon, interesting. I've not seen Archon in a hot minute. Reinforced Stalkers and Death Riders, Tradic Cohort, Bone Shaper, Harvester, and 2x20 Mortek Guard. I feel like some things can get through that. Other things are going to struggle super hard. That's a bit obvious and tautological. Not insightful at all, but that's fine. And that was me. Cool. So 7 OBR. Where did I miss? Corn, OBR, Soulblight, Soulblight. Alright, we'll do Gits next. Only 3! Oh my god, there's only 3 Gloomspite Gits. And one of them is also named Ricky, so he is certainly the best. I believe that's the Ricky I've met at Tables and Towers and now Bazooka Games in Westminster, Maryland, where I have not been for a hot minute and I need to get back to. So let's see. Mid-Atlantic Goblin Rescue, Scragrot, Small Troggoth, Small Trogs, Drogs, Trogs and Drogs. Frazzlegate Shaman Warwheeler, rules, love it. Small unit of Snarlfang Riders, Reinforced Snarl Pack, a Snarl Boss, another Snarl Boss, 2 more units of Reinforced Snarl Pack Cavalry. I was very unimpressed by the units of 3 I saw last weekend and I played against. I don't know that having twice as many that are bad is better than having 3 that are bad, but we'll see. It's a cool list. I like it. Jake, I think this might be the same thing he ran at Slaughter, but it's a Squig Boss with Natcha Squig, Reinforced Bounders, 2 small Squig Herds, and a big Squig Herd. This is sounding very familiar. Stabas, Fanatics, Fungoid Cave Shaman, Drogs, a Catapult, a Gobblepalooza, and 6 Rot Guts. A nice mixed list. I do like it. He went 4-1 at Slaughter, so clearly it's working well enough. And then we got a Trugs Trog Herd, so Trug and a bunch of Trolls. Cool. So a little variance in the Gits lists. We'll do Skaven, because I feel like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Skaven. Where were you? Anthony's probably the same list he took. Yeah, so this is the same thing. Anthony took Slaughter, 3 Abominations, 2 Reinforced Unit of Storm Fiends. It's a very low model count list that he painted extremely well, and won Best Painted at Slaughter, so probably a contender for that here as well, although obviously there's a lot more people at Nova, and generally a few very well painted armies, so we'll have competition at least. I don't know, we'll look at 3 of these. So we've got Mike Badgenos with Thanquol's Mutated Menagerie, Thanquol, Hell Pit, Reinforced Rat Ogres, a Brood Terror, Reinforced Storm Fiends, Master Molder, and another Reinforced unit of Rat Ogres. So a lot of big rats to kill things. Matt Soper with Masters of Death, Intercept and Recover Attuned. Oh my. That's why it's Masters of Death. So we got a Verminlord Deceiver, a Screaming Bell, and as many Death Masters as fit after that. Cool. I need to go, I haven't looked at the War Scroll for the Death Master. I don't know what this does. I think they shoot and they stab. Cool. Shooty Shooty Bang Bang, Warp Bolt Scourgers, Thanquol, Clan Rats, a Warp Seer, Verminlord, Scourgers, not reinforced, Scourgers not reinforced, a Grey Seer, Globeteers. Alright, this is just all shooting with some Clan Rats, which is intriguing. It's very interesting. It seemed like with the obscuring terrain rules, shooting might go away, but I feel like we never really got any time in this GHB so far where there was not a decent amount of shooting. It seems like people are just saying, screw it, we're taking shooting. There's enough people still taking monsters. Not like everybody is always invisible. There's enough stuff to shoot. All right. Let's have a Skaven. Oh, we are Soul Blight, Gits, Skaven, Cruel Boys. Let's do Cruel Boys next. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Cruel Boys. One missing a list, so unclear if they're gonna drop or they're just late with the list. Bill Hennessy is good. Gavin is obviously good. Joe's... Oh no, there's a lot of good people playing... Oh no. Oh no. Baptiste is also good. Alright, so there's a bunch of people playing Cruel Boys, and a lot of them are like well-known good players. I have a feeling they're all gonna look fairly similar. It's a lot of Monster Killers, it's some Gut Rippers, it's a Shaman, it's a Killaboss and Nashtooth, it's a Vulture. Not shocking. Oh, look, a lot of Monster Killers, a lot of Gut Rippers. Not shocking. A lot of Gut Rippers, a lot of Monster... not a lot of Monsters. Scumdrek, Shaman, Nashtooth. This generally... You're definitely seeing a Shaman, you're almost definitely seeing the Killaboss and Nashtooth. But yeah, that one's a little different. This one, a lot of Monster Killers and Gut Rippers. This one is a lot of Monster Killers, some Bolt Boys, a Killbow. Love to see the Killbow. Some Gut Rippers. All right, so these are all, I don't know. The roster in Cruel Boys is not that big or that deep. So, whatever. You're going to see similar things. Again, 40 Gut Rippers. Love me some Cruel Boys. Going down the list. All right, we got Seraphon, we got Iron Jaws. Let's look at Seraphon. As a man who is painting 6 Seraphon. Sorry, I'm not painting 6 Seraphon. There are 6 Seraphon, and I am also painting a Seraphon army slowly but surely. So I do want to see what people are taking. Some of the usual suspects for Seraphon. Harry, Basil. Sorry. So we got a Sunclaw Starhost. I think that's the one where you can pile in and do D3 mortals and grind. So it's Slan. I heard that's bad, but I'm glad somebody's taking it, because that means me painting it is not a waste. Reinforced Agrodons, Bastillodon, Hunters of both varieties, Scarvet on Agrodon, another Reinforced Agrodon unit, so 2x6 and 1x3 Agrodons. Cool. We've got the Scourge of Ground Old Blood, 2 Reinforced Agrodons, 2 Tensaurus, 2 Hunters with Dart Pipes. So the Dart Pipe ones are not the -1 to charge die, but if they get a wound through, they give a -1 to wound debuff for the turn, which is good. And a Starseer for those 5 upwards for a turn. And we've got Patrick Shiflet with Intercept Master of the Paths. Again, a Slan. Hunters with Dart Pipes. They're 20 points cheaper, so that might be why they just fit in the list, especially now that you have to pay 20 for the Realm Shaper engine. It's real easy to swap a unit of Hunters with Bolas to 100 with Dart Pipes and still get to keep your Realm Shaper. Again, 2x6 Agrodons, Old Blood on Carnosaur, the new one, 2 units of Small Chargers, Terror Wings, cool. And yes, I was a dinosaur kid. How did you know? Again, a Slan. So everybody's taking a Slan now. That's interesting. No Croak. Again, 2 units of Small Chargers, Source Guard, the new Old Blood, Reinforced Agrodons, Hunters with Bolas, a Starseer. Cool. So we can definitely see some themes there. Nothing too shocking. No like Thunder Lizards list with a bunch of Bastillodons and Stegodons or anything like that. I think Iron Jaws is a pretty small list. So 5 people? So Iron Jaws real quick. Also, let's see. I can keep, that's not how you spell total. I can keep track of how many we've looked at. All right, so we're halfway through already. That's not bad. Let's see. Bill Keeler, Boris, Jason, Luke. Well, if I looked at 4 and there's only 5, I better look at all of them real quick. So we've got a Grunta Stampede, interesting, with a bunch of little pigs, 1 reinforced, a Tusk Boss on Malgrunta, another the Orcish is getting to me. So 2 Tusk Bosses on Malgruntas, Malgrunta Gouga, Malgrunta with Hack and Crew. So all the pigs, cool. This one is an Iron Fist with Kragnos, Gordrak, a Mega. Oh my God! All right, this is pure man mode here. So it is Kragnos, Gordrak, Mega Boss on Malkrusha, small unit of pigs, and a big pig. 2 big pigs. Sorry, two Tusk Bosses, 2 big pigs. Rules, love it. Hope that Morghast go burr if I fight it. Then we got Gorgonchas. Man, so many more pigs than I thought. I was gonna say this earlier. Nova seems to be an event that a lot of people who, what am I trying to say? Nova feels like an event that like everyone in the DMV will go to, even people who don't really get out to much tournaments. And so I feel like in general, like a good chunk of the field is people who aren't necessarily trying to like keep up with the meta and are just playing what they like to play or playing the models they have and like aren't maximally competitive meta lists, all that sort of thing. So all that is to say that it does not surprise me to see like a good amount of variety in the lists here and seeing things that I wouldn't really expect to see that much based on like my own local meta with the people I usually play. So yeah, good mixed list there. We got another Kragnos with Gordrak and a Malkrusha, so just sending it. Gork wills it. Yes, he does. Yes, he does, Luke. And then we've got the Pork Chop Express. I love these Iron Jaws players. No, doesn't look like nobody's playing the like 40-60 yard boys, which is what is my local Iron Jaws meta. So yeah, we've got Tusk Boss, Hack and Crew, another Gouga, a lot of just all the pigs. Cool, love it. Pigs, pigs, pigs. Pig seems to be the theme of Nova for Iron Jaws. Stormcast. Very curious how many we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nice medium range. Very curious what James is looking at, so we'll look at that. Very curious what John is playing. I think I know what Nick is playing, but he's my friend, so we're going to look at his list anyway. We'll look at that first. Sigmar Skin Takers. This is a very pretty army with like a flayed man theme, with Karzai, Knight Azeros, Praetors, Reinforced Prosecutors, Indrasta, Stormstrike Paladors, Knight Arcanum, and 2x5 Vigilors. Nick is a man after my own heart. Indrasta is not the best thing to take, but Indrasta rules, so there she is. James O'Brien. I'm not going to read all that, James. I'll read that later. But this is Iridon, 2x6 Prosecutors, Quester Soulsworn, Vigilors, Lord Relictor, Reclusions, and the Skyport Profiteers. There they are. There they are. We all knew they were coming. We all knew this was coming. This looks like more... This looks like closer to what is maybe settling to be something of the meta list for Stormcast. Closer, at least, than what Nick is taking. Over here we have Ionis, Raptors with long strike crossbows, Reinforced Prosecutors, Aether Wings. I mean, they're such cool models. Like, how can you not take them? And you also want to give them a 5-up ward. You want something to give 5-up wards to. Nidocanum, Soulsworn, Vanquishers, Vigilors, Terminos, Reinforced Reclusions. Cool, a little more mixed arms. John Baker, here we go. This is what I'm curious about. Ooh, all the Reclusions. All right. Iridon the Witness, the new one, of course. 3x6 Reclusions. Night Relictor. Vigilors. Tornus the Redeemed. What a man. And Reinforced Palladors. And the Stormreach Portal Potty. Love to see it. The Reclusions are such cool models. I don't think they're amazing by any means, but they seem solid enough. If you're not Slaves and you can't take Chosen, I guess you can be Stormcast and take Reclusions. So we still need to do Deepkin, Feck, Fire Slayers. I don't even think I put Fire Slayers on here. Let's insert a couple more rows. Oh, and we still need to do Caradron Overlords. I'll do Deepkin before that. Deep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, so far we've got a very nice even spread of armies here, which you love to see. Let's see, John, Dylan, Steven. Here's a little cross section. We got the Ether Sea Predators with a bunch of sharks. Icon of the Storm, that's the new thing, I think. Oracle of the Abyss is a new thing. 3 Ishlian Guards, I forget which ones those are. Another shark, Lotan, so lots of sharks and some small eel units. With scouting, that makes sense because, like, I think all of this is cavalry. I think it's all cavalry. And then Master the Paths. And we've got, again, the new stuff, the Icon and the Oracle, Ishlian Guard, Leviathan, Reinforced Morsar Guard, more small units of eels, and a couple Alapexes. Then we've got an Eidolon, the new Oracle, 2 Alapexes, a Leviathan, Reinforced Eels, another Alapex, Icon of the Sea. So, all right, we see a pretty strong trend there. I know nothing about the new Deepkin book, honestly. I haven't played against it. So, we'll see. Maybe I'll run into one. KO, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 6 KO. What a gift we've been granted by the Warhammer gods. Only 6 KO in the field. Let's see. I feel like there's going to be a lot of variety to some extent. I mean, probably lots of frigates and ironclads, but we'll see what else. So this is not exactly the list that Jeremy war-crimed me with, but it's close. So it's Brock, a frigate, reinforced Skywardens, reinforced Salvagers, small Salvagers, an Admiral, reinforced Arcanauts, an Ironclad, and an Endrin Master with Endrin Harness. I think the Burst Grenade is the thing that can remove wards, but this does not have double ward removal because it's lacking Thunderers, so that's something. Fred is playing Brock, a frigate, a Null Chemist, reinforced Wardens and Salvagers, another Null Chemist. I need to read what this guy does. A second frigate, another reinforced unit of Skywardens, another reinforced unit of Salvagers. I hate KO. I'm glad there's only 6. Jeremy, like a true coward, cut down the Freedom Isn't Free song to a mere paragraph. 1 verse. Different list than from Slaughter. So this is Brock, 2 gun haulers, 2 harpoon crews that were reinforced, a code right, a frigate, only 1 frigate, okay, reinforced Skywardens, another unit of Salvagers reinforced. I think Salvagers have balloons. I think they might be fast on their own without, I don't know. I think the Von Grimm might be fast without the boats with the balloons. I'm not sure. Then we got Leo. I swear this was the same quote Fred had in his list. Is this literally the same list? I think it is. All right. I think it is. Brock, frigate, 2 Null Chemists. It must be the same list. You can at least be original, KO players. God damn it. All right. Flesh Eaters, what do we got? 2 Feck. This is an old book, so I imagine we might see an uptick after the new book comes out. We have Morbentime with Usheron, Cryptguard, Herald, Reinforced Knights, Small Knights, Cardinal, Reinforced Knights again, Beast Flayers, Varghul. Cool, I dig it. And we got another Usheron, so we got both people taking Usheron and a Herald. 2x6 more big knights, 1x3. Cardinal, Cryptguard, Beast Flayers, Varghul, Courtier. That might be the same list, just split barely differently between the regiments. It's close if it's not the same. You Sons, I forgot about them too. Is Caleb the only Tzeentch player? Here's the question. Nope, there's 2. Oh, right. Matt Beasley's coming. Duh. I knew Beasley. They're probably the 2 best Tzeentch players in the world. If not, they're like 2 of the top 5 Tzeentch players in the world. I don't know what the French and people are doing over there, the Swedes. So Beasley's playing the Ogroid Boop with Kairos, Jade Obelisks, Spawn, Zangor on discs that are reinforced. Thaumaturge, a Thaumaturge, so 2 of those, Acolytes, another Obelisk, and then the Slaves Regiment of Renown that get +1 to save, I think, if they're standing on a point. So a little bit of tankiness. And then Caleb's got Kairos, a Spawn, another Thaumaturge, Shaman, 2x reinforced Zangors, and again, that Regiment of Renown. So some commonalities there for sure. Cities. We haven't looked at cities yet. Dylan, obviously a favorite to do very well and maybe win. 1, 2. So there's 6, but 1 dropped. Yeah, again, so like very good spread of armies, and even the ones that are very strong right now, like KO cities, are not. It's not like we have 15 KO players, right? There's still more slaves. There's more Soulblight. So, not everybody doing jump on the strong bandwagon net listing thing. I think a lot of people just bringing what the army they like playing, what they have, all that good stuff. And the great thing is Nova's a huge tournament, so there's plenty of room to bring what you want, not the meta list, whatever, and still go like 3-2, 2-3, whatever. Get into pods, maybe Wiener pod. Love it. I myself am not. I have no idea if I'm gonna try and play all the way through to 8. I said last year I was gonna try, and I ended up dropping after 5, so it'll probably happen again. Dylan is just rampaging with this list. I assume it's the same thing. Fusiliers, Cavaliers, 3 Command Corps, Battle Mage, Fusel Major, Foot Guy, Callus and Toll, Zenestra, and a Steam Tank Commander. They could probably use a point hike and fit very slightly less. I don't know, maybe 1 less Command Corps. I don't know if it would matter. Fabian, it's not broken, it's just very efficient, and yes, it would look cooler with outdoors, but here we are. Yeah, that's the. I thought it was gonna be hammers or whatever, but nope, it's not hammers. It's the KO Regiment of Renown, Battle Mage, 2 Command Corps, Callus and Toll, of course, 2 Foot Marshals. I think they pair with the Command Corps somehow. Zenestra, Major on Warhawk, 1 Cannon, Reinforced Cavaliers. Oh, and another Command Corps, so 3 Command Corps. Cool, it's cities. And then we got Nick with Fregal Marshal, 3 cannons. So here we go, that's the 3 cannon list. Pontifex, Battle Mage, Callus and Toll, all the usual things. 2x6 Cavaliers. Nick already beat me with this list once, so hopefully I will have my revenge. Ba-da-da. What are we missing? Night Haunt. Got to be getting close to the end. 3 Night Haunts. Yeah, we're at 95. We're close. Close. We're powering through, friends. We are powering through. Can I see if anybody is even watching on this stream? There's definitely no comments. I see 1 like, so that's good. And 0 concurrent viewers. Excellent. So basically, we're doing this live for no reason. I could have just recorded this like I normally do, and it would have been fine. But you know what? We're trying new things. We're learning to be a little streamer, man. Got to branch out sometimes. So Night Haunt, we got Chris Goslin with Reikenor, Dreadblade Harrows, Stalkers, 2 black coaches, the new ones, they rule, a Karnwraith, reinforced Chain Rasps, and 2 units of reinforced Grimcast Reapers. I do quite like it. I like Night Haunt in general. I'm glad they're not broken anymore. Madigan still does not want to buy a second coach. You've had so much time. However, taking Kurdos, who is awesome, 2 units of reinforced Harridans, a black coach, Reikenor, 2 units of Harrows, Cruelgast, and Chaingasts. Again, I like it. You don't need 2 coaches. 1 coach is cool. And those models are a pain in the ass. Black coaches are like the #1 sin from GW of overflowing the base and making it hard to actually play with. So, 1 is enough. And then Mike Mercurio, you've got the Vanishing Phantasms with Reikenor, Chaingast, Chain Rasps, Dreadblade Harrows, Cruelgast, 2 units of Harridans, not reinforced, 2 units of reinforced Bladegeist Revenants. I need to read the new Night Hunt book. I know they changed a lot, but anyway, this is the old one. I'll rock the Drowner as well, who is super cool. Dig it. The other thing about Nova being so big is like any of these armies where there's like, oh my god! Again, the least insightful thing. If there's 5 people playing an army at a tournament of 115 people, right? Like there's a very good chance you don't run into it at all. Nurgly boys, 3 of you. I wonder if there's any Slanesh. I didn't put Slanesh on the spreadsheet yet. There's 1 Michael Miller, 1 Slanesh, you proud soul, brave soul, whatever I'm trying to say. So the 1 Slanesh has Shalaxi because Michael Miller is a brave, glorious man. Reinforced Seekers, pronunciation is difficult. So reinforced unit of those, Shard Speaker, Fiend Bloods, Twin Souls, reinforced, 2 units of Blissbarb Seekers, not reinforced, and a Lord of Hubris. Good luck to you. Nurgle, we've got, let's see, are we all going to have Rodigus? Of course we are. So we've got Rodigus, big unit of Blight Kings, 2 small unit of Blight Kings, Lord of Afflictions, Blight Lords, a 1 model Blight Lord, so a little unit here. I don't know, is Taliban the one where they get a pregame move or setup? I don't know. Anyway, there's some of those, and the Demon Prince Regiment of Renown seems to be very popular in Nurgle. He's got Witherstave and whatever this thing is, and Wings. Scott, who I played at Slaughter, was saying like the thing he was missing in his list was like a little, basically what we used to call cowboy in fantasy. Like a little fast guy who's killy and can run out and do things, right? To go with all of the slow Nurgle things. And the Demon Prince fills that very well. This is a different loadout than Scott had, but still, again, here too, this is the loadout Scott had. The Corpulent Avalanche and the Rustfang. Then we've got Rodigus, a bunch of Blight Kings, a unit of reinforced Blight Lords, and Sloppity. I like it. And then last but not least, this time we got Rodigus, Plague Drones, Reinforced Plague Bearers, and Sloppity, a Lord of Blights with 2 units of small Blight Kings. And then we got Morbidex, Twiceborn, and some Nurglings. I like anyone who takes Nurglings. Daughters, we have 4 of them. Again, one of like the big baddies right now, but probably much like cities. I know Rob on Honest Wargamer has called this like the production meta. It's difficult to paint 80 witch elves and then everything else that also goes in the list. So much like cities, it's like a painting challenge to get the strong metal list on the board. So here we've got Crethusa, Stalkers, 20 Sisters, 20 Witch Elves, 20 Witch Elves. So 60, not 80. Got a Cauldron of Blood and a Bloodwrack Shrine, and the Skyport Profiteers, those motherfuckers who I hate. Hate them, hate them, hate them, hate them, hate them. Let's just give everybody ranged damage that takes your ward save away. No thank you. Noah has Crethusa, Stalkers, Warlocks, Cauldron of Blood, and this time it is 80-foot witches. One is Sisters of Slaughter, but whatever. And a Bloodwrack Shrine as well. It's interesting. I figured you'd see Crethusa plus the Cauldron of Blood. I don't know what the Bloodwrack Shrine does. I might go read that. Then we got Quentin Tarantino's Elven Tournament Wrestling No Shoes. Three Stalkers, Crethusa, 80 Elves on foot, and a Cauldron of Blood, as expected. And then too fat for this, running 102 models over 8 rounds is more than I've ran in a decade. Scott, you got this, you beautiful man. I believe in you. You have 80 Elves on foot. Yep. Got some Shadow Stalkers, got the High Gladiatrix. That's a different take. Again, the Bloodwrack Shrine and Crethusa and the Cauldron of Blood. So very, very similar lists. We're not seeing the snakes anymore. It's all mass foot witch elves because they love their feet. Only 2 Lumineth. Blessed be the Warhammer gods. Martin and Kevin. Martin with his very pretty Lumineth. With Avalanor, a unit of Small Stone Guard. Reinforced Blade Lords. Alania and whatever. Reinforced Sentinels. Again, I think there seems to still be plenty of a place for shooting. We've seen plenty of monsters in all these lists. An Enlightener, Riverblades, and the Saviors of Cinderfall, again, who I hate. Man, why don't people take more of the Regiment of Renones that I don't hate? Very rude. Then we got Kevin, Nova 2 the Noving, Alania and Elithor, Reinforced Stone Guard, Light of Eltharion, Reinforced Sentinels, Small Dawn Riders, an Enlightener, and then we got Reinforced Blade Lords and River Blades. Kind of similar. Very, I appreciate a list that's not spamming one unit and has a little bit of everything from the book. That's cool to me. We're at 104. Who am I? What army am I forgetting? So we've got 2 Fire Slayers. Watch, the army I'm forgetting, there's gonna be like 10 of them. Be like, what the hell? How did I miss that? Charlie always bringing his Fire Slayers, and Timothy as well. So we've got a Rune Father, bunch of Berserkers, Rune Smiter, Hearthguard Reinforced. So this is that 100? 2, 3, 100 dwarves on foot? That's a lot. Good on you. And then we've got the other version of Fire Slayers. So we have Magmadroths, 1, 2, 3, 4, with a few foot guys, and then again, Callus and Tull. It's a good thing you can only take one regiment. Is that a rule? Can you only take one regiment of Renown? It must be, or I swear we would be seeing Callus and Tull and the Skyport Profiteers in lists. I know there's some sons, I don't want to admit it, but there are. This may shock you, but they have giants in their lists. So let's not think too hard about that. Yes, I know some of them have regiments of Renown in them as well, but whatever. I don't care. We did all the Death Armies, Soulblight, OBR Feck, and Night Haunt. Let's just go. We did Nurgle, Seraphon, KO. We did all of the Chaos Armies because Chaos Dwarves are not out yet. Are we missing? Oh, we're missing Sylvaneth. Here we go. All right, we're missing Sylvaneth. And that might be it. We might just be missing Sylvaneth at this point. And a few people have dropped, so my count is probably a little bit off. I don't think I see anything other than Sylvaneth that I missed. So, all right, we are at the finish line. Here we go. Keeping it almost under an hour. What are we at? Yeah, 55 minutes. Man, look at me go. Look at me go. Love it. Why did you do that? Spreadsheet, don't go over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Sylvaneth. So yeah, the most representation we had. Oh, and this is probably, is this, yeah, that's why it's not a, hey, look at that, 116. Imagine that, the total players that we have. Turns out if you have your spreadsheet ranges set up correctly, it helps. All right, Sylvaneth. How much do we want to bet that Alariel is in every list? I just want to see Alariel. I'm already wrong. Damn it, I'm already wrong. Yep, I'm already wrong. I'm so wrong. I'm so bad. We got multiple Belthanoses with no Alariel. All right, so half have Alariel. I'm fading here. It's a good thing we're almost done. So we got Alariel, Tree Lord, Drycha, another Tree Lord, Durthu, and another Tree Lord, all the big boys. Cool stuff. We've got a Revenant, a bunch of Kurnoth Hunters, Belthanos, a Branch Witch, Spite Rider Lancers, and Drycha. I need to look at her Scourge of Garon War Scroll, because I have not done that. And we've got Belthanos, a bunch of Kurnoth Hunters, Revenant Seekers, Warsong, Gossamids, Tree Revs, Branch Witch. Surprised we haven't seen, like, a little surprised we haven't seen more of the Littlefoot guys. Then we've got Alariel, Revenant Seekers, Drycha, Belthanos, Spite Revs Reinforced. Here we go. This is right. This is what Thomas brought to. This is why I was expecting this. Because this is what Thomas brought to Slaughter, so I'd seen this list. So it's Alariel, 3 units of Reinforced Spite Revs, Belthanos, 2 unreinforced Spite Revs, 3 Revenants, Warsong, Revenant. So many Revenants. We are Revenanting so hard, baby. And then last but not least, we have Trevor with the March of the Ents, which, as you can tell from the name, is going to be a bunch of trees with a Warsong Revenant and the Skyport Profiteers, because who can resist? Who can resist some Skyport Profiteers? Nobody. Nobody. You got to take those words off. You got to teleport. You got to shoot. You got to do all of the bullshit. So am I smart enough to sort this? I want to sort by column B. It's not going to do it numerically. Oh, well, it did it. All right, it did what I want, but the opposite direction. Hold on. Hold on. We're doing this again the good way. There we go. All right, so not shocking based on the armies people own, but perhaps shocking because of the current meta and what is strong. We have Slaves, Soulblight, and Skaven coming in at the top. Slaves and Soulblight both with 10. Stormcast has been dropped down a little bit to 7, even though everybody owns Stormcast. 7 Khorne is pretty strong, but only 2 are the Army of Renown, which is... It would be surprising if I didn't know that they were being strict about proxies and things. Yeah, just a pretty good spread. Only like down here do you really get into kind of poor representation with Gitz, Nighthaunt, Nurgle, Sun, Tzeentch, Feck, Illarar, Fireslayer, Slaanesh. So yeah, very, very small chance of seeing these on the table in any of your games, just for given random person at the event. But you know, very good chance really any of these you're gonna play. So I am looking forward to... Oh shit, Jake just commented live. Yes, we're live, but I'm almost done. I'm wrapping up and finishing. This is closing comments. You're too late. You're too late, Jake. but I do appreciate my now 1 instead of 0 concurrent viewers as I do this wonderful experiment. Anyway, yeah, I look forward to the tournament, largely because I'm going to get to play a bunch of people I don't normally play, and it looks like hopefully I will get to play a bunch of different armies. It's not, we don't have 15 KO and 20 corn like I was worried we would, and nobody wants to paint cities, so even though they're strong, there's not a ton of cities. Plus, like, Dylan's going to be at the top table, so once I lose a game, I won't have to play Dylan. So, that's better. No, love you, Dylan. Yeah. I think that's all I have to say about Nova. I will try to make a video recapping. I keep saying maybe I'll try and make a video like mid-Nova to kind of cover while I'm there, but let's be real. The odds of that are low. Oh no. I was I not? Hold on. Oh, I am. Nope. I don't think I was sharing my screen that whole time. Anyway, that's fine. Whatever, you got to stare at me. At least I read things out loud. I know half the people who watch this don't watch the video anyway. So, whatever. It's a good thing I made sure I only had the relevant tabs on this because I was going to share my screen. All right, cool. So I continue to be very good at having multiple views available on my broadcast thing. We'll have to work on that. I'm very curious to go back and look at this and see if the drops from OBS to YouTube actually affected the stream, or if there was like buffering happening where it didn't cut out. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, Jake. Thank you, Nick, for tuning in for at least 10 seconds and confirming that this was live. And I hope some people watch it in the replay. So see some of you at Nova, and have a good